everybody, it's Cayley. I wanted to jump on real quick and basically do a breakdown of the eBay Spring Seller Update. If you're new to eBay and you don't know, eBay comes up with seller updates a couple times a year that basically let us know anything that is new or anything that is changing on eBay. Sometimes there's a lot of information, sometimes there's a little bit. In this one, I do think there's quite a bit of information, and sometimes it can be really hard to digest in simple terms what they're trying to say. And so while a couple other resellers have made really great videos about it, maybe you've already seen them, maybe you haven't, but for those of you that haven't, I wanted to reach out to you guys as my viewers and let you know that there were some updates and try to do a quick breakdown for you in my own words, in simple terms that are easy to understand and easy to digest, of some key takeaways from the seller update. So I'm not going to go over each little individual thing because I feel like that would just take way too long, but I have written down what I think are the most important ones. So I'm going to do a screen share and just kind of talk to you guys about what I think you need to take away from it and what I do think is really important in very simple terms. So let's dive in.
All right, you guys, so I am currently on the 2021 Spring Seller Update page, and you can get to this from your seller dashboard. It's right at the top of the page of your seller dashboard if you have an eBay store. If not, I believe you will need to do like a quick Google search, and it also showed up in my eBay messages, so search all of those places if you do want to like deep dive and go into it. So I am going to be talking about today 3 key areas within this update. One is listing and promoting. Second will be fees and financials. Third will be running your business. I'm not going to go over user agreement update. It's extremely long, and so depending on your situation, you'll want to read into that to see if you are affected. I don't think there's like a ton in there that's going to dramatically affect you, but I'm just not going to go over that today in this video. So we'll go over these 3 categories. So starting with listing and promoting, just going down the changes here. So there are a couple things that I'm excited about, and there's a couple things I'm not so excited about, and I think that happens with every seller update. Unfortunately, if there is something you're upset about, we can't really change it right away, but I do recommend if there's something you're unhappy about that you do give your feedback to eBay, and I'll tell you one way to do that here in just a moment. So the first thing that they announced was that there's going to be new category changes to help buyers find our items. And this happens pretty much every seller update. There are new categories, or they delete categories. So what you need to know and the takeaway from this is if you do have a listing that is affected, it will automatically move you into the correct category or the different category or the new category. So really not much you need to worry about there, but you may see as you're listing, starting in May, a couple different categories or the way that they're phrased, but not to worry, you don't need to do anything like the item specifics like we're about to talk about now. So categories should be automatically updated for you. Moving on to item specifics, this is kind of just a reminder. You know, they mentioned before that we really needed to update and complete our required item specifics. And I don't know why they're bringing this up again, because from what I read before, we should already have this done. And if you have any that are missing required, which is different from recommended, if you are missing required item specifics, those listings, to my knowledge, are no longer visible in search. So you really need to go and correct those. If you are on your eBay Seller Hub, you should see a little quick filters bubble that says item specifics required. So if you see that, you need to correct that right away. This is also announcing just, kind of a reminder of that to get that taken care of. Plus, they're going to be adding new item specifics, which to me, I'm not exactly excited about because that just means more work for me. But on the flip side of that, it is going to make it easier for the buyer to find listings and present more of an opportunity for someone to get to your listing. So while it is more work, it also helps with search. So I'm just kind of in the middle about this one. But starting early in May, we should expect to see a little bit of changes as we're listing items and different item specifics. This is just a little blurb about how to go and correct some of those recommended item specifics and different ways that you can address them. So I'm going to let you guys read that on your own time. You guys should have already done that, but if not, definitely go onto this page and learn how you can correct all of those. Changes to variation details for listings with multiple variations. Most of you, if you are shopping at a thrift store, and you're just selling one-off items, are never going to even use multiple variations. I know that I never ended up using it until like this last year. And what this really is it's if you have the exact same item, but in like a different color or a different size, but it's the same brand, it's the same style, it's the same everything. There's just a couple different variations. Apparently, only some categories and some items are going to be allowed to do that now. So previously it was a benefit for me to create a multiple variation listing if I had, you know, multiple different items of the same style, but maybe just had different sizes, because I would only have to pay for one listing, versus now they're saying possibly I might have to create a listing for each separate size. So I hope that all makes sense. It says, as a result, you may receive an error while updating listings because they'll no longer be valid. So I guess the thing to take away from this is just, if you're listing and you want to create a multi-variation listing, if it lets you, great. If it doesn't, then obviously you'll know you have to create multiple listings, which kind of stinks, but it is what it is. This is the one I'm really not excited about, and it is called the Unified Listing Experience. So you guys should now be seeing this on your listing screen. Like when you are in Create Draft, you should see this option. I would highly recommend that you click on it and try it. You can always switch back to the classic, which is what I immediately did, but I do highly recommend you guys click that so you know what it is like, because this is how they're hoping to have the listing page moving forward. So soon, it says mid-May, at least mid-May, they're going to be moving to this new unified listing experience. I did click on this and I tried this, and to me, I do not care for it because it takes way more clicks to get into what you need to type. So to get into the different fields, you have to click a couple different times to get into it versus just scrolling down a page and filling out all of those fields on one page. So try that out. I immediately switch back to the classic listing tool. It's really easy to do. And when you click to switch back, it's going to ask you your feedback. And I let them know my feedback, that I thought it was basically going to take longer to make a listing, that there were too many clicks. Highly recommend, if you guys do not want this tool, that you go through that whole process, you try it out, and then you go back, revert to the old way of listing so that it prompts that feedback space, and then let them know your thoughts. This is something that I am excited about. They're saying what's evolving in the listing experience. So coming soon, I guess we're going to be able to now use the background removal tool on the desktop. Previously, it's only been available if you're on your phone or a mobile device, and to be honest, I don't use it because it is finicky. It doesn't work as well as some of the other background removal tools, but maybe with this new update, maybe it'll be upgraded and be a lot easier to use this background removal tool, because I would absolutely love to just be able to do all of this in the app and not have to take the extra steps to use a different app and upload it onto eBay. If I could do that all at once, that would be absolutely fantastic. And so I'm hoping that's what they're going to do with moving this on over to the desktop. Save preferences. I don't really know what this means. They haven't really gone into detail, but it says they'll remember your choices for certain options in the listing flow, so you won't have to reselect them every time you list. I don't know what this means, but I'm going to guess it's going to learn as we go and kind of robotically save. So maybe if you click like a t-shirt, maybe if you most frequently click long sleeve, maybe it'll automatically fill that out for us. I'm not really sure. They didn't really go into it, but I am looking forward to that. And hopefully it'll be a lot more helpful than it is in the way. And this I'm very excited about. So again, they didn't really go into detail, but they're saying they're continuing to expand the listing experience to help us work faster which I would really like, and more efficiently. You guys know I'm all about efficiency. With features like new keyboard shortcuts and optimized photo management tools. This I am so super excited about. This sounds like something I would definitely use like all the time as long as it works. So definitely, guys, main takeaway from this whole video is definitely go try this listing tool and give them your feedback, because this is all supposed to be included within that unified listing. Moving down, there is a new promoted listings feature. So I don't know how many of you use promoted listings, but if you do, I'm just going to be brief. But basically all they're saying is you will now be able to, instead of having to individually or even bulk edit your listings, if you decide you want promoted listings, apparently there's going to be a way you can create a setting so that when you automatically list something, it will or will not, based on your rules, apply promoted listings to it or not. It looks like you can change the percentage. So if you're somebody like me who does a very low percentage promoted listing rate, it looks like you can decide for each one. More details on that to come, it seems, but I'm not sure if I'll use this or not. I need to play with it a little bit. Here is a new one regarded to marketing, and this is introducing new coded coupons. Now, this is saying it's going to replace the codeless coupons previously offered. I'm going to be honest, I never used the codeless coupons. I couldn't really figure out how it worked, but this one excites me because this is how it will show to the buyer in the listing. And so it's just an additional way to entice the buyer to buy something and to provide a sale. So this is what it'll look like on the buyer's end, and then if they apply that at checkout, like you see here, it should give them that discount. So I thought that that was pretty cool, and I am excited to use that. That can all be found on the marketing promotion tab. And then this is something that I also find interesting, and I will have to do a deep dive on, and that's a new seller guidance feature in the Seller Hub, which is under the Terapeak Sourcing Insights. I've actually done a video on the previous version of this, and so that video unfortunately is probably no longer valid because the way that you would get to all the information is going to be different areas to get to it now. So I'll probably have to delete that video and create a new one with these new features, which I would be happy to do because Terapeak is a great source for figuring out what to source. So it'll help you find what kinds of items you need to be looking for at the thrift store, and it makes sourcing really easy. So again, I'll probably have to play around with this and do a detailed video on this, but just know that they are enhancing the Terapeak sourcing insights to help us with sourcing. And then they also said they're updating the Seller Hub on the Performance tab and offering a listing quality report and a traffic report. I don't know. I didn't really find this very helpful, but I'm going to play around with it a little bit more. But apparently those are some updates and some different reports that we can get in the Performance tab. Okay, moving on to fees and financials. So on fees and financials, they are basically taking away, this is all like really confusing, so I'm just going to briefly tell you. Basically what they're doing, previously when you were listing an item on eBay, you would get so many free listings based on your store subscription or based on your whatever like coupon or promotion they were running if you were not an eBay store subscriber. So you would get so many free listings every month, and then once you went past that, then you were paying an insertion fee, which is a fee to list each item. So apparently now they are increasing the amount of free listings that we'll get per our subscriptions as long as you are on eBay Managed Payments, which everybody, it does say right here, eBay will require all sellers to register for eBay to manage their payments in 2021. They keep pushing back that date, but if you've not already subscribed to eBay Managed Payments, you really need to just go ahead and do it. I've not had really any issues with it, so you really need to get over because you're going to be forced to do it, it looks like, by the end of this year. So they are going to offer us they're basically changing up the eBay store subscriptions and what's offered with each store subscription. So we're really going to need to go in. It sucks because I just made a video on which store subscription is right for you and offered a free spreadsheet and all that. So I'm going to need to edit that and make a new video because it does look like it's changing. And even for me, it looks like I might, after some research, need to drop down in a store subscription to save myself money. So you guys really want to deep dive and look into this, but they're changing in the store subscription the amount of free listings you'll get, and it might possibly mean that you need to bump down a store, which is nice, but you gotta do it. So they are giving us more free listings, and then they also said that they're no longer going to collect invoices. So they will now take every fee, everything, returns, insertion fees, final value fees, and they're going to take that from your earnings. So anything that is sitting there being ready to be paid out to you, they will take it from that, and then if there is not enough in there to cover, they will debit it out of whatever bank account you have set. So hopefully you are keeping money in whatever account that is. I think you can set it for a credit card, which is what I have. That way you'll never have overdraft fees, but I could be wrong about that. But definitely want to look at what your method of payment is for that, because you will be charged if they cannot take it out of your earnings, which is kind of nice. I mean, every other platform really does this. It's just that eBay is still kind of behind the ball as far as, never having to debit your account. If they could just find a way to do it like every other platform where you wait for the buyer to rate and then it's a done deal, done transaction, people can't come back and say anything, then we would never have to worry about it. But unfortunately, it looks like still possibly you could have a return after you've earned something, and then they would have to eat into your bank account. So you definitely want to look at that. They did mention, within the next couple months, you may still see invoices, but then after that, it's all going to be taken out of your earnings. They are taking away the promoted listings credit for select store sellers and eBay top rated sellers. So if that's something you currently had and used, maybe you didn't even know you had it, they are retiring that. So you're no longer going to get a credit for meeting that criteria on your promoted listings, which means that how much you pay each month on eBay might change a little bit. And I think that's really it, guys. I'm not going to go over this like fast and flexible financing. I personally don't recommend that you get financing for your eBay store, but that's just my personal opinion. But if you are interested, I guess they are starting something called eBay Seller Capital. Moving on to running your business. So key takeaway from this is there's going to be a new cancel function for unpaid items. Now, if you are new to reselling, I think this is going to be extremely helpful for you. But if you are a seasoned eBay seller, you probably already have automated unpaid item assistant turned on. And so you're basically just going to keep using that if you're a seasoned eBay seller. But for those of you that are new, and I know that I get questions from you guys all the time, what to do if a buyer still hasn't paid, I tell you to create an unpaid item case, and you have to go through like several different steps in their resolution center to then get the item canceled on eBay's terms and then relisted. This is going to be new starting in early April, which is really exciting for newer eBay sellers. You can now cancel without any ding to your account after 5 calendar days after the buyer hasn't paid. So if you did not already have the automated unpaid item assistant turned on, you will be able to cancel your order after 5 days and not have to go through that resolution center and do like the 5 steps that it takes to get the item back for sale. So I do think that that is a good feature for them. They still have a long way to go. Like, why are buyers even allowed to commit to buying something but not pay? I feel like if they just cleared that up altogether, we wouldn't even have to have this, but at least they're moving in the right direction. This is also kind of exciting. Instead of having the separate resolution center, it's now going to basically have all of your cases in your seller hub, which is really nice because going back and forth is kind of annoying. So it'll all be integrated, and if there's any requests, cancellations, returns, you'll be able to see that on your eBay seller hub and be able to deal with it there instead of when you deal with it now having to go to the resolution center. So that is really convenient, and that's supposed to start in late April. New partial refund option on auto accepted returns. So auto accepted returns are returns that eBay automatically accepts for the buyer because maybe they lie. So currently you could say you don't accept returns for fit, and then a buyer says the item doesn't fit, but they know that if they put doesn't fit, then you won't accept the return. So what they do to get around eBay's terms and conditions is they say the item was not as described because they know eBay will go ahead and automatically force that return. So that is what an auto accepted return is when eBay forces the return against your return policies. So I guess I misunderstood this at first, because now that I'm like reading it again, this is actually just saying that if an auto accepted return happens, previously we could not just say, okay, don't ship the item back, I'm going to give you a partial refund. You could give them like a full refund or just let them ship the item back. But apparently now you can offer a partial refund if we want to save money on shipping, meaning we don't want the item sent back to us, which is still a load of crap anyways, because why are we letting buyers get around the return policy by having eBay auto accept something? It just doesn't make any sense to me. So really for me, I'm not happy about this. This does not help me at all. What it's basically saying is if eBay forces a return on you and you know you're going to end up eating the cost on shipping, and then even though the buyer is scamming you out of your money, then you would rather just give a partial refund to settle it, you can do that. But I probably will not be using this. So that is it for the seller update. Sorry to end on such a negative note, but it's really frustrating when eBay knows these problems that we've been having for so long and the other platforms don't seem to have this issue. I mean, yes, occasionally, Poshmark will side with a buyer when I disagreed with it, but most of the time I don't have these issues on other platforms. Most of the time. I feel like they're way better about it. So I feel like eBay is not as streamlined in that manner, and it's really frustrating. But all of the rest of it I feel like was pretty positive, and I'm excited for some of these new tools that are coming out. So stay tuned for those. Make sure that you do try out that new unified listing and give them your feedback either way, whether you like it or don't like it, and try it out, because I think you guys would be surprised at the differences in that.
All right, guys, so those were my thoughts on the new spring seller update. I hope that was all really easy to understand. If you do have any questions, please drop them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to try and answer that based on my experience and based on what I've read today. As I mentioned before, I may not have covered every little individual thing within the spring seller update, but those were the major changes that I wanted to bring to your attention in case you are not already aware. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I do make all kinds of videos, not just about eBay, but about Poshmark and sometimes a couple of other different platforms. I make what sold videos, hauls, tips and tricks videos, lots of different videos about reselling. So if you're interested in sharing that journey with me, hit those two buttons down below. Don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. If you did enjoy the video, this really helps me know that you guys like this kind of content. And it's also really helpful when it's the first time I've done a video like this to know if it is worth doing again. So this is my first time doing a breakdown of a seller update on eBay. Let me know by hitting the like button or hitting the dislike button if you did or did not enjoy this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.